Hello, my name is Susan Wright. I'm an occupational therapist. I've been an occupational therapist for 37 years, and I've worked in an acute hospital, mental health hospital, home health, and skilled nursing facilities. So I have been working mostly with seniors through my career. That's my favorite. So you guys are probably thinking, well, what is occupational therapy? And I always hear about physical therapy, but I never hear about occupational therapy. Well, what occupational therapy is it's, we're trained therapists that we use activities to achieve the goal. For example, we don't just do exercise. We find out what the person is interested in, what they like to do, like gardening or painting or photography, and we try to use that activity to get that shoulder mobility, to get them to reach down into the cupboard. We try to recreate what they want to be able to do in their life. So that's the main difference, is that we use the activities. So the main focus that we have is on a balance of work, leisure, and play. So play would be children and then leisure would be adult, and self-care. So a lot of times with the seniors we're working on self-care, but people still want to be able to follow their pursuits, their leisure activities. There's nothing more than having fun and relaxing and doing the things you want to do, besides always just the chore of taking care of yourself. So what we do, the main training that we have is we adapt. We can take an activity, like say somebody will come in and they'll say, well, I had a stroke and I can't do golf. I can't golf anymore. So we might modify the activity or modify the environment or modify the equipment. And what I mean by modify is, like, we might build up a handle on a spoon or a fork for someone who has bad arthritis and they're not able to feed themselves. Then we have the skills to determine what devices may help that person. And then what I try to do is I try to find things that are available in the community rather than having people having to purchase things. So, like for example, I use the rubber shelf liner, and I'll cut that into strips and then wrap that around the spoon and attach it with a rubber band, and then that way people have a non-slip grip on their spoon or their fork.
Well, that was a great idea.
Thanks. So, okay, sometimes the decline might just be regular aging with, generalized weakness. Maybe they've had a stroke. Maybe they have a history of Parkinson's or arthritis, whatever the disability. Maybe they had a car accident. It could be anybody. It's not just limited to seniors. It's from children all the way up. But we still use the same activities, like with the child, of course, it would be play. So with the elderly person, it might be helping them to be able to get in and out of the shower and complete the activity. It's not just, can you walk to the shower and can you get in? What do you do? How do I get, what supplies do I need? My stuff is over there in the bathroom. So we teach them to organize and set up the environment so that when they're done with the shower, they just have to reach, they can sit on the bench and dry off. And so they're safely getting in and out of the shower. That's one of the real big areas that a lot of people have an issue with, either in aging or an accident, or just generalized mobility goes down as we age. So I was going to show you some of the equipment, because a lot of times people are like, well, what are you talking about? So this is a device that is called a sock aid, okay? And people use it when you have a broken hip, when you have a back injury, or you just can't bend all the way down to get your socks on, and you live alone and you got to go to the doctor and you don't want to go without socks, or just get dressed, just to be able to get dressed. So with this device, and I also get a lot of things, I find stuff at thrift stores. So now that you guys are in the know with what the devices are, I actually bought one of these for 75 cents at a thrift store. And then those I just give away to people, you know.
And so what would something normally cost, something like that normally cost?
I think this is like $15.
Wow.
Yeah, so you know, like everything, it's going, the prices are going up, but then, you know, if you would have seen this in the store, in the medical area of the thrift store, you probably would have not even known what it was. Or people are cleaning out and they feel that they don't need it anymore, and so they put it in their yard sale. So this device is, the idea is the person is sitting in a chair and you throw it down. Let's see, where should I show you? Right here. And they throw it down this way and they're sitting in the chair, and then you scoot your toes in all the way to the end, and then using your arms, you pull it and it ends up going like this. I mean, I don't know if did you want me to demonstrate it?
If you like, or I was going to say, I'd be happy to demonstrate if you would like me to.
Okay.
Since I have no socks on.
All right.
I'll just,
Do I need to move the table?
yeah, why don't we just move this table?
Okay, we'll just move it. We'll just go like that. That's fine.
I'll grab a chair
All right.
and be your guinea pig.
All right.
All right. Glad I cleaned my feet.
Okay. So you're going to place this between your legs so that you can hold it, because you need both hands.
Okay.
This is the back.
All right.
The terry cloth is the back. The shiny liner is so that your foot can slip in.
Okay.
And often when you have a broken hip and you have a hip surgery, you're not allowed to bend over 80 degrees for a couple of months. So imagine if you were at home, and how are you going to get your clothes on? How are you going to get your shoes on, your socks on?
Is that good?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, no, don't bend over.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. We're pretending like your hip is still injured.
Okay, and I can't do more than this. Okay, got
Right.
it.
Then you cinch it kind of sideways. Oh, there you go. Then you pull it up the back of your leg. Ta-da!
Yeah, that is.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
And then while you're here, I could show you the reacher. This also is used for people when they cannot bend. They have a back surgery or Parkinson's, they're stiff. So you can use that if you would like. Oh yeah, you can pick things up. It's great for picking up stuff in the back of the closet, in the
Oh,
cupboard.
yeah. And you got a
I've
little
taken a few
pokey
light
thing
things
there,
out of the
too.
cupboard and kind of caught them.
Yeah.
Here, you could sit down and you could use this to get your sock off. Now you're done for the day, and you're in the bathroom and you're taking off your clothes. And there you go.
Then we'll just do that.
Okay, wait. I have you now. I have her captive. Okay. So, I will show you this. This reacher is very universal. You can pick up the paper outside if you've got to go out to your porch. So now you're going to put your clothes on because you have an appointment this morning.
All right.
Okay? So you're going to put the pant in like that.
Okay.
And you're going to go down, you're going to go fishing. Okay? And don't lean forward. You got to bring it up as far as you can to be able to reach it. There. All right. And then that leg is good. That's not your injured leg, so you always dress the weaker leg first,
So this
or the
one I
weaker arm.
could- oh,
Yeah, that one you can move any
Probably
way
I
you
shouldn't
want.
have done that either if I had hip surgery, though.
Oh,
because I
but you didn't have it on both.
No, I didn't.
Okay, now you can take them off. Use your reacher.
Okay.
Well, you can use your hands first. Okay, there you go.
And then we can do this.
Yep, and then you can put your stuff in the laundry.
I like
Okay,
this because it's got this little grippy thing, this
right,
alligator type thing
right.
on it.
It's
not
got that.
smooth.
It has a hook, and it also has a magnet on the end. So if you
nice.
drop the lid of your can, or nuts and bolts, or screws, or whatever,
Wow.
yeah,
And where do we get one of these?
those are available. You can get them online.
Okay.
There's a couple pharmacies that still have some equipment, but I use North Coast Medical.
Okay.
It's a company that I've used my whole career, so I use them. And there's a functional solutions catalog available. You can look online at North Coast, but there's a lot of other vendors also. But that's just the one that I've always used. So, okay, thank you for that.
Am I done?
I think so. I think with that part. Okay. All right. There. Okay. So, this is an example of how we could modify the utensils, okay, for someone to be able to feed themselves. One person, I actually had to modify the environment by putting a stool, a little stool, or something that raised up the height of the plate because they were stiff and the plate was far. And so I brought the plate. They weren't able to bring their arm up high enough, so I brought the plate. I put it on a little stool and then put their food there, and that worked for them.
So then that spoon is on the palm of your hand.
Right, and then it's bent and it kind of goes this way a little bit to the edge so it makes it easier. There's all kinds of devices. Like this one, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it has a little hook on the end, and it's a one-handed button hook.
Oh.
And they had those along in the 1900s. They were using. I have an old one with it's on a ball. Anyway, and it's a one-handed button. This is a false button, but you would put it in. It'd be mostly for people who had a stroke or broke their arm and had their hand in a sling, or broken wrist, not able to use both hands together. So it's kind of an old device. Okay, now I remember that I forgot to mention that occupational therapy started in the late 1800s when nurses and other medical professionals were helping mentally ill people, that they found that the people got better quicker if they had something to occupy their mind instead of their illness. And then most people know it more of from the 1900s, from World War I, that the nurses noticed that the men who were on the cots recovering, the people that they taught how to knit, I saw an old picture, it was knitting and weaving. And the men that engaged in an activity other than just being ill, they got better quicker. So that's I forgot to tell you about the history. Let's see. Oh, the main points are that occupational therapy can help keep seniors in their home by doing home health, training of the caregiver or the family or the patient, being a resource to get the equipment, the adaptive equipment that they would benefit for, or often in the home you can use things that people have already in their home, so it's not a financial burden. Increases the quality of life for people, seniors. It also allows people to go home. You know, people that maybe don't have a support system in the community, don't have close family, they're able to go into rehabilitation and they're retaught how to dress themselves, how to safely get in the shower, and they're provided with all of the resources for the equipment they might need. And then we try to have continuity with the home health agencies so that when the person goes home, then they have home health care. Occupational therapy is included in that, and physical therapy and speech, and nursing, of course. And the good news is that occupational therapy is covered by private insurance, most private insurance, Medicare, Medi-Cal. So that makes it a resource that's available for everybody. And it also reduces the length of stay that people have to be out of their home. Because everyone knows that there's no place like home, and home is really where the healing begins.
One of the things
Got any questions?
Yeah, I have a question about, I believe on the meeting, the health meeting that Mark Twain did
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, a year ago.
Right.
We were talking about being able to do, kind of molds for hands, so like my
Oh, yeah.
hands are starting, like that one,
Mhm.
like that, starting to go crooked.
Right,
So is that something that you could help me with
right.
that sort of thing?
In that area, Susan is referring to some arthritis and some joint stiffness that she has. Hand therapy is a specialty area of occupational therapy, which I provide at the hospital at Mark Twain Medical Center. Yes, I do. I can fabricate splints. It's called a splint. Now they're called orthoses. I can fabricate that to the person's hand. And it might be something that you might not have to wear all the time. You might just wear when you're doing like if you have joint arthritis in your thumb, you might have a little hand brace that's molded to your hand that you can take on and off, that you can use during heavier tasks. Like if you live alone and you've got to take the garbage out, and there's a lot of things that we're using our hands for these days. So you can get orthosis made, you can get some joint protection ideas, handouts on energy conservation for being able to manage the things that you need to do at home. And that's also is covered by Medicare and Medi-Cal and the private insurance.
Okay. And then just out of curiosity, since I also have the hammer toe thing going on, do you have things for that too? Are there things you can do besides go get surgery to get those toes back into line where they're supposed to be?
Well, that's actually a physical therapy
okay.
thing, but I have seen some resources, because the way you can find equipment is you look it up under adaptive equipment, and that will bring up a lot of different sites, and there are some little silicone toe keepers that you can kind of put on your toe. Sometimes maybe it's a buddy strap, maybe sometimes it's a little wedge, but I have seen that because that's actually a question that comes up a lot.
Oh, okay.
So, how about you ladies? Do you have any questions?
It's very, very damaged.
And you can always call. You can always just call me at the hospital if you have questions, or you have clients, or you're like, do you think that this would be right? Or you can always use me for a resource.
Well, I really like the fact that you are keeping cost in mind with all of this and trying to find ways to get people the equipment they need without having to go out and spend thousands of dollars on.
Right. Well, the thing is, the rule is no equipment is better. If you can get somebody better and get them doing things, it might just be a positioning thing, it might be body mechanics, it might be that they're trying to do too heavy of an activity. Also, it might be the way their room is set up or their house. I've actually gone out in home health and I have changed things around. I've moved a microwave from high up where the patient might spill hot food. I've put it down on the counter. I encourage people to leave their personal self-care items on the sink rather than wasting a lot of time trying to gather things up, having things available at the stations that they need them. So,
That makes
yeah,
a lot of sense.
that's an important thing, because a lot of people don't want to spend the money on it, and that's okay, because there's always other ways. For example, that dressing of putting on the pants, you can use a cane. You can use the loop end of a cane and put your pants on it, shorts, underwear, any of that, and you can reach down with your cane and fish it on and then use the loop of the cane to pull them up. I've done that, and I've also used an umbrella. So
Great idea.
you get kind of creative. That's the best thing. And another thing I forgot to say was that occupational therapy, it is fashioned for the patient. There's no cookie cutter. Each person has their own goals, their own desires, their own interests, where you can get people, it's called intrinsic motivation. They want, if you're saying, well, you have to make bread for your husband because he's on a gluten-free diet, then let's make you a station for a lady who was short of breath. But it was really important to her as a wife that she provide the food that she was able to give to her husband. So we made a little baking station where she had all of her stuff. It was like in a mobile home with one of those little, I can't remember the name of it, a little side table. So we turned that into her baking area. She was short of breath. We had everything there. She could sit down as she needed to, and she was successful. So it's all, it's individual. There's not where you're going to come in and everybody gets the same treatment. It's individualized.
I think that is amazing, and I think that not only did you help her accomplish what you wanted to, I think the mental health aspect of it is also really important, because you also allowed her to keep the role that she wanted to keep in her husband's life.
Right.
You know, so beyond just baking the bread, it affected
Right.
a lot of areas in her life to make her
Right.
happier and healthier.
Right. It was in her heart.
Yeah.
That's what she wanted to do, and that was really important to her. And I think it's important to acknowledge those things, because those are the things that help us to feel good. And when we feel good, we're more apt to take care of ourselves. And when we feel good, we're more apt to spend a little more time on ourselves.
I agree. And I think it's kind of like a ball rolling down the hill. You get the momentum, and once you get that momentum, you keep going.
Yeah.
But it's getting that push.
Right. Right. Well, giving somebody a little hope.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay. Even though you had a back surgery and now you can't bend anymore, you can still do the things you want to do. Sometimes it's from a chair, sometimes it's standing.
From Adventist, what's your name? Catherine. Okay. And where are you from?
My name is Mary, and I'm from an organization, California Telephone Access Program. So we're now California Connect, I guess.
Oh, cool.
But we're
That's great.
transitioning. So yeah, we offer the specialized telephones
Mm-hmm.
to people in the state with a need to make it a little easier for them to communicate, things
Right.
like that.
So she's kind of an extension of occupational therapy.
Oh, Siri thought I was talking to her. Yes. So right now, we actually just finished with one of our pilot programs. We just closed it. So what that means is what we were doing for our customers who were low vision or blind,
Right.
we were offering them what we call a synaptic cell phone. So this is an Android smartphone with a built-in app that's called the Synaptic. So that everything you do on it talks back to you. So it's very touchy. Wherever you go with your finger, wherever you're guiding yourself, it'll guide you by the voice.
Oh,
So you can
my.
do many things. It's a free cell phone with free service for 90 days. After that, they keep the cell phone with the app, and they can go to wherever carrier they choose to if they decide to keep it.
Nice.
So we just closed that. It's in testing phase. Hopefully we get some good feedback. We have a survey at the 30 and 90 day trial, and if we do, hopefully we can add that to our program.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I'll take your card.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're welcome to stay
Yes.
while we talk about
Yeah.
our each what we're
I
doing.
have a patient.
Okay,
I
that's
have
right.
to do a treatment.
And I'll give you
Okay.
actually a few flyers just so you can look over them to get a better idea of what we do.
Yeah, I even had a patient once who was blind, and he only, I don't think he had bilateral amputation of both of his legs, but he would be able to get in the wheelchair, and then we'd go in. He lived with his wife, and then he always made his own breakfast.
Wow.
So it was really important, and
Yeah.
they actually got a microwave that talked.
Oh.
And told him what setting he had on it. And then I had to adapt it a little more because there were so many buttons. So I had to kind of put something on the one button, like a little piece of Velcro or tape,
Right.
that he could tell, oh, it's that. You know, it would tell you the setting and how long, and he was able to make his own breakfast.
Nice.
And, you know, it might sound like a little thing, but to him, it was,
Yeah.
you know, he'd lost his ability. He was on dialysis at home. He didn't have his legs. He had lost a lot.
You know, it's funny because we use Velcro as well. You know, they have the dots and the bumps and things like that, but Velcro is very easy to differentiate. It has that, and then that you have those two pieces, so one of them is a little more rough than the other.
Right.
So we love to use that as well. And like you said, it seems like it's something small, but it's something small that has a really big meaning to it for someone who has a hard time seeing or
Oh, yeah.
Today I'm heading up to Sonora to help someone who's low vision as well. And I'm going to provide them with a voice activated device. So we're going to connect it to their phone, and when they pick it up after we've programmed it, they just say the name of who they want to call, and it'll place the call to them.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah.
That's great. And then what was your name? Oh.
My name is, you remember, see?
Avita.
I never even saw that show or whatever you're
The
talking
movie?
about.
Well, you have to. It's an iconic movie. My name is Avita, and I'm with Calaveras County Public Health Department, and I am in the process of creating a healthy aging program that will cater to the senior population for Calaveras County to improve health outcomes in general, for seniors. And the other thing I'm giving you is a folder with 10 handouts, because the Calaveras County Public Health Department is conducting our first Calaveras only health assessment. In previous years, we've been lumped in with Amador County or Mariposa County or Tuolumne County, and a lot of our numbers in Calaveras, like the more rural residents, their demographics are left out because they're such a small number compared to the whole population when we're combining counties. So this is a really unique opportunity, and we're trying to get everybody who is a Calaveras County resident aged 14 years and older to participate, so we can create more programs that are relevant to the people who live here.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
My flannel shirts are trendy now, my chromer cap is too. It seems that everything